Hey, everybody. So Georgia Tech had their spring game yesterday, so I'm going to be talking about it a little bit here. Um, I went to it. I actually got a hold of some tickets and I had a good time. I actually got a picture with Jameer Gibbs, so that was pretty much the highlight of my night. But I'm going to give a little bit of a review on what I thought of how the game went and about what that means about our season coming up. So here we go. Okay, so first off, the gold team wins 31-25. It was our first string offense against our second string defense, and our first string defense against our second string offense. So obviously, you look at that second number, the 25, and you're like, oh God, your defense gave up 25 points against your second string offense. Yeah, that's not good. It's not. I'm going to be honest. I was not very impressed with the defense. I don't have too much to say about the defense side of the ball. Other than it was really soft. It was a really soft and safe game. Like, I guess maybe maybe we saw how much injuries were happening with all the other teams in the college football right now and their spring games and spring practices, and we were like, we don't want to have any part of that. So I don't know. Maybe he told them to go real soft because I noticed that there was a lot of non tackling and stuff like that. They did have a couple interceptions from the against the second string offense, which was good to see. That we can capitalize on making their mistakes. But we're not going to face an offense that's as bad as our second string offense. So I just hope that maybe kind of them being soft and giving up all those points was due to that not wanting to get injured because we're not very deep. We're just not very deep at all. We're a really young team, and our young talent is all we got. So, honestly, a lot of times they say, well, you can't really tell a lot from spring games. So I just hope that that's true for the defense. As for the offensive side of the ball, though, I was happy with what I saw. We had, of course, what I was excited to go see was Jeff Sims and Jameer Gibbs play, but they really didn't wind up playing that much. Which, like I said, I guess they really wanted to keep them kind of out of it, and really minimize the risk of having them get hurt. Because if we did lose Gibbs or Sims, that would be devastating. We didn't have Gibbs in our last two games of the year, and they were close games and they were close losses. And who knows what would have happened if we did have him. He's a huge production on our offense. We just can't afford to miss Gibbs. So it kind of doesn't surprise me. I'm a little disappointed, but safety's first, especially when you look at what's been happening with all these other teams losing their good players because of injuries and stuff. So we just want to make sure that they are in the best shape they can be going into the 2021 season. So, okay. So as for the game itself, we only had about half the stadium filled. It was like socially distanced with student and season ticket holders only being the people allowed in there. So, like, if you're a regular fan, you couldn't get in. I guess because of COVID, we got hit really hard with COVID in the past year or whatever. So we had missed 3 games. We went like a month without playing any games last year. It was torture getting to see everybody else get to play, and we dang didn't. So, yeah, we got hit harder than COVID than most, I think. I guess because we're in the big city and it's spreading around. I don't know. And then, of course, we had to delay our spring practice because of it, because of some positive tests. So hopefully by the time the season starts and we get everybody gets their vaccines, that'll be a thing of the past, and we can get to full capacity and everything. But they only had half of the stadium filled out, and it was a good turnout. I managed to get some seats pretty close, but it was in the corner, so I had a hard time at the game itself. I had a hard time kind of telling what was going on, especially when they were like further down the field. So I had to kind of go back and watch some highlights just to form a little bit more opinions on what I saw. It was kind of just like a fun atmosphere kind of thing. So, the game itself, the spring game, was mostly for entertainment. We had some like top recruits that like most wanted recruits we had there watching the game, and it was at nighttime, and of course nighttime games at Bobby Dodd are amazing. If I recommend going to check those out if you've ever had the pleasure to do that. The night games are awesome. Yeah, so we had these top guys there, and we wanted to kind of put on a show for them and make it seem like a real fun atmosphere, and it was. It turned out great. The whole thing was a little bit unorganized. I think the offenses and defense and first string and second string got jumbled up, mixed up, and it was kind of hard to keep up with in the stands because I came into that game looking like, okay, well, I'm a YouTuber. I need to have a little bit of analysis on what's going on, and it was hard to keep up with. I did have to go back and watch some of the highlights because my eyes aren't that good in the first place. But what I could tell from my freaking little corner I was in near one of the end zones is that Jeff Sims was a total beast, and he still is the clear first best quarterback. He was 9 for 10 attempts and passing, and at the end, and like I said, the game was meant for entertainment more. So Jeff Collins actually reset the score a couple times to be like tied up just for a little bit of entertainment value. So last 2 minutes of the game, this is where Jeff Sims really stuck out to me. Last 2 minutes of the game, it was tied up, or I think even Jeff Sims' team was down by a point, and he had 2 minutes to get a touchdown basically. And he did it in 30 seconds. It was he had an insane 65-yard, 4-play, 30-second drive in which he scored. I mean, he ran all over that second string defense, which he should have. He did exactly what he should have done, what was expected, and what I think any friggin' first string offense should do to their own team's second string defense. They should run all over him, and he did, which I was good to see. He threw a near pick, he did, but he was getting the ball out quicker. The only thing I didn't get a chance to see was maybe him having some deep balls, like to see how accurate. He didn't throw too many deep balls. They were mostly he threw some maybe 15, 20 yarders, but nothing like past that. So I was kind of wanting to see that a little bit, but I guess we'll have to wait till the fall to see that. I was wanting to see how accurate he could be with those, but I still was impressed by him. He scrambled a little bit, had a great scrambling touchdown. He ran out of the pocket and got a dang 20-yard touchdown. And it wasn't like, oh, they didn't tackle him. Like, they couldn't get him. So I love that guy. He's awesome. So we were supposed to only play 2 quarters, but wound up playing 3, some kind of like weird, fun third quarter. I didn't expect it at all, but it was totally like putting on a show for the recruits and the fans, I guess. It totally was for that, and they just did flea flickers, and they had like the basketball coach running the offense and the women's basketball coach running the defense, or something weird like that. Some like kind of fun third quarter that was unexpected that they didn't announce in the game plan. Like, we were getting ready to go, like, oh, it's the end of the second quarter, because that's what they said on their website. They said, oh, we're only doing 2 quarters, but then all of a sudden they have this third quarter, and the announcer was like, we're doing this fun little challenge here. And so that was kind of fun to watch. Again, like I said, it was mostly just an entertaining game, not really to get a good look at showing off our talent. We didn't get to see Gibbs too much, and what we did see of him and Sims was really impressive. I loved watching those guys play. They're my 2 favorite. Our backup quarterback, we have 3 of them. We have Yates, Peary, and Knight. Knight didn't really impress me. He'll probably be 4th string. He was playing like DB or something, and because he played like quarterback in high school and tried going back to quarterback, and maybe he's just rusty. I don't know, but yeah, he's pretty much didn't do very much in the game. He probably won't be. Peary and Yates looked about similar. I would probably give it to Yates as the number 2 quarterback, with Peary like a close 3rd. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Sims doesn't go down, because he blew all of them out of the water. He's obviously the best quarterback on our team. And another thing I was looking for, so you got Sims at quarterback, Gibbs is the star running back. Well, we didn't really have a crazy name at wide receiver. And I was kind of like keeping an eye out that and tight ends, which I didn't see too much out of the tight ends, but I did at wide receiver. We had this guy, Kyrick McGowan, had a great game. So I'm hoping, and like I said, you can't read too much into spring games, but hopefully that guy comes out and is able to do some good stuff with us in the fall. So there you have it, my little breakdown of the spring game. Not too much going on, it was only 2 quarters and then one weird fun quarter. I had a good time. Basically, it was just us going down to the game and getting to see football. Man, going there really made me like miss football. Like realize just how much I miss football because I went to a couple games last year and it's just not the same with COVID. And of course, they weren't as strict about it this year, or at least at the spring game. Hopefully, we can get back to normal coming in the fall, and we're able to kind of get back to normal. So we showed a little bit of improvement as far as the COVID side since the fall, where we were completely just ate up by it and had a lot of players out and stuff like that. So there you have it, my little take on the spring game. I hope you guys liked it, and go Jackets.